Hi folks, Dave with dbstechtalk. Today we're going to talk about the Burson Audio Conductor 3X Performance. The Burson Audio Conductor 3X Performance, or 3XP, was provided via a gear tour on HeadFi. You can check out the link down below for my written review, which will have a whole lot more information than this video review does. Also, want to thank Burson Audio for inviting me to the gear tour. I had reached out to them and just said, hey, I'd love to demo some of your gears, or any way that we can work something out. And they were like, we got a gear tour going on, sign up for it. And so I want to thank them for making it known to me that there was that gear tour. Also, I want to thank Bara with HeadFi for setting up the tour and for inviting me along, and for giving me an opportunity to have an extended period of time with the Burson Audio Conductor 3XP. Do greatly appreciate it. I got a few extra days, actually more like a few extra weeks with the 3XP than normal for a gear tour. So I do greatly appreciate all of that, and it's been fun. I wish that this time wasn't coming to an end. So anyways, the Burson Audio 3XP comes in this little nondescript box, just says Burson Audio on it. A lavish musical experience. And when you open it, you're pretty much just greeted with a little bit of foam, which will protect your amplifier, which is not in there. Because you can't review something if it never leaves the box. And then you get a little accessories. Inside here will be your power supply. They sent along some op amps, and also you get a little adapter so that you can connect from USB-C to regular USB if you do not have that capability, as this is a USB-C device. And then you also have an adapter that has a mic and headphone connection so that you can do voice over IP. I did not test it that way, nor did I change the op amps, as I am not gifted in that way whatsoever. And I do apologize, but my lighting seems to be off. Let's see if I can fix that. I actually bumped it with the box. Hopefully that fixes that problem with that little flickering thing going on. Also, you may hear me with some papers. This is actually my written review, and I'm going to be taking notes off of this with the review, so I do apologize for that. All right, now all of that's out of the way. My monitor just turned on. We're off to a good start. You also get a remote. It's very solidly built, very nice. It says Burson right there. You got a little single screw in there and take that off to replace your battery. There's your infrared, and it's 4 buttons, plus and minus, and a function button to change your inputs, and then a mute button. And that's it. But this thing is solidly built, nice and small, very easy to lose. Won't say that I didn't misplace it. The amplifier itself is actually not that big. It's about 2 hand sizes for me, maybe a little bit larger. And on the front you have XLR. Well, actually you have your power button, your XLR output, 1/4 inch out, 3.5, and that's also where you would use that adapter for your microphone. Your display, volume knob, and function button, so you click it to activate the functions, and then a menu button, and there's your little infrared. On the back you have XLR outs, RCA outs. I'll take that cap off. There we go. Spidiff, optical, toslink. There's your USB-C in, and here is your Bluetooth antenna. And then also right there is your power. Let's go ahead and plug this in real quick. So when it's plugged in, you have a little blue LED light If you plug it, it'll cycle through real quick, and it turns on rather quickly. I know you can't see this very well on camera, but if you press this button here, it'll change it, and you'll have menus, and you just use your volume knob to change and go from whatever volume, whatever menus, and you have your inputs, your output. So if you want to do headphone out, DAC out, or pre-out, gain for high and low, if you want to change any of the filters, and some other things are in there. And when you get to the line that you want, you just click on it, and then it'll take you to the other side, and you can click again after you select it. I found that this menu was actually rather hard to use. The volume knob rotated way too easy and too often, and so a lot of times I would have something selected and I'd go to press it the second time to confirm it, and I would have turned the volume knob just to like a centimeter, and I'm on a different option, and so it didn't say what I wanted to change, and it was just kind of annoying. But once I got everything set in place, the only thing that I really changed on a frequent basis was the gain, and even then it was still kind of clunky. Plus the screen's a little hard to read. Didn't really care for that. The other thing is the volume knob, as much as it just feels solid and nice in the hand and has this nice texture to it and easy to grip, it moves extremely slow to turn volume down. It was kind of annoying. One nice touch is if you have volume playing or something that's playing and you just click in the volume, it mutes it. It's very nice. Overall, the build on it is just very sexy. It just looks nice, has a nice grooves, and it's solidly built. This is a very elegant looking, and I really do enjoy the build. Everything's laid out very nicely and very simplistic. It does not have any real problems when everything is connected. It all just kind of flows together. I find it looks really nice on a desk, matches up very well, and don't have any real complaints other than the slow volume knob, the small screen, and lackluster menus. Check out the link down below for all the other options that this thing does. I'm not going to go through each and every little detail as far as how it functions. I will say this: with Bluetooth, it connected extremely easy and stayed connected. Did not have any disconnection problems no matter what device was connected to it. Once it had Bluetooth going to it, it did great, and it broadcasted it fine, whether I was going out to the Cantu Yumis or to headphones. I did not have any issues whatsoever in how it went. The most meat and potato thing about a DAC amp preamp is how did I use it and how does it sound. So how did I use it? I used it mainly as a headphone amplifier, but I did also use it as a DAC out to my Cantu Yumis, and also I used it using my 789 as balanced. So I always had it connected via USB from my PC going in, and then I connected it also via Bluetooth to my PC, also to my various DAPs that I have, and also to my phone. I used the preamp output to connect via RCA into the Cantu Yumis, and also connected XLR outputs to the THX AAA 789. Headphones that I used in the review were the MrSpeakers Ether C, Hi-Fi Min Ananda, Meze 99 Classic, the Sennheiser HD 600, the Vibrolabs Curly Maple, the Mastrop Empire Ears Zeus, and the Meze Race Solos. Those were the most prominent ones. I did test it on other stuff, but those are the ones that mainly were used. So sound-wise, again, I do apologize. I don't know why my lighting is doing that. Let's try to fix the light here. How does it sound? The Burson Audio has a fantastic sound that just tickles your ears every time you turn it on. It has a pleasant, lush, romantic sound. The musicality of it is just crazy good. It has a romanticism about it, a thickness to it, but also it does a really good job with detail retrieval. And for the most part, it's a very revealing amplifier, but every now and then it'll get itself in trouble and just be a little too revealing, just a little too assertive in presenting the details. Even though it has that lush and just romantic sound to it, sometimes the detail retrieval could be a little bit too assertive and it would become a little fatiguing. Now, mostly noticed that on the HD 600. Not exactly sure why that headphone was the one impacted, but it just didn't play the best with the HD 600. It played well with everything else. The Anandas sounded really good. The Vibrolab Curly Maples sound really good, and the Meze 99 Classics sounded really good on them. The Ether C's were exemplary on them, but for whatever bizarre reason, the HD 600 just had those moments. One other thing about the sound that was a little unique was the soundstage. The soundstage has plenty of depth and layering to it, but it always sounded a little bit small. It wasn't cramped, it wasn't intimate, but it didn't sound wide. It just had it like it was being a little narrow, pinched off. And just found that a little strange and odd. But for the most part, it sounded really nice. It just had those weird little instances. Connecting it to the Kanto Yumis was fun, but I can't really say whether or not it's a good speaker amp, as those are a powered amp, a powered speaker that are very colored to begin with. So it's not really a good way of saying whether or not it's a good speaker amp, because the sound's just extremely colored. So I have somewhat of a colored amplifier going into colored speakers, and it made for a really fun sound signature, but I don't really know what it would sound like with something that's truly, you know, a flat, neutral, reference sounding speaker. Going balanced output to the 789, it sounded really nice. And with the 789, sometimes you can get that real sterile sound. And connecting it to the Burson made it sound a little more rounded off and a little more pleasant, not quite as fatiguing as the 789 can come across at times. Overall, the sound is very pleasing, a slight, warm, lush, engaging, but detailed, revealing way that plays with nearly everything I played on it. The Burson Audio Conductor 3X performance played well no matter the source of music, but it scaled better with better file quality. I do recommend that you use really well recorded music, and it will bring out just the details and the clarity and just the overall body of the music. It's very engaging. How do I compare it to other amplifiers that I have? Well, currently right now in-house, and the ones that I used in comparison, there'll be more detailed comparisons in the written review, but I have the Mytek Liberty, and then off screen back over here is the IFI Pro IDSD. The IFI Pro IDSD is a little bit warmer and has a more analog sound, a little bit laid back sound, but also has a fantastic detail retrieval. The IFI has a lot more options as far as filters and capabilities in that regard, and it can do a lot more DSD remastering, but I find that the IFI Pro IDSD is actually easier to listen to and plays well with all gear, including HD 600, whereas the Burson is a little bit more picky and can be a little fatiguing. It doesn't have quite the smoothness like the IFI, but in my opinion, the Burson is the more technical of the two. Comparing it to the Mytek Liberty, now the Mytek Liberty actually sounds more natural to me, and it just sounds more like accurate to what I would hear with my ears, whereas both the IFI and the Burson are more of a full-bodied, more enhanced type of sound, something that would be more like in an amphitheater or an auditorium, whereas the Mytek has more of a just true to nature type of sound. And personally, I tend to lean towards the Mytek sound, but all three are very well done and very good. If I hadn't gotten the Mytek, the Burson would have been my choice. It's just kind of interesting like that. One other thing to note, IEMs. If you're going to use IEMs with the Burson, you're going to need an IE match from IFI or something similar. It does hiss quite a bit on sensitive IEMs, and I just found that the Burson wasn't the best choice for IEMs. It wasn't that I didn't like the sound of it, and it wasn't that it didn't do it. It's just I think that there's better options out there to be able to use that will play better, so that you're not hearing that hiss. In conclusion, to wrap all this up, there's a lot more to the Burson Audio Conductor 3X performance than is possible to discuss here in this review or even in the written review. I find that the 3XP to be a very capable DAC and amplifier. I love the fact that you have multiple inputs and that all work and stay connected with ease. I love the fact that the build quality is top notch. I mean, this thing is just beautiful, and it looks sexy sitting on your desk or in an audio shelf. I love the ease of use. It's pretty much a plug and play experience. I did not have any problems with drivers whatsoever. I love the sound is presented slightly warm, thick, tight, romantic, detailed, and revealing. And I love that the device is worthy of the asking price. Yeah, I do actually think that the Burson is very well priced. They did a very good job of matching the capabilities and the product and the build and everything with the price tag of $1,300. If I hadn't purchased the Mytek Liberty, I would have purchased the Burson Audio Conductor 3X Performance. There's no doubt about it. I can recommend the Burson Audio Conductor 3X Performance, as I believe it is an amazing device worthy of the price. For me, the Conductor 3X nearly hits the bullseye, while the Mytek Liberty is spot on for me. But I highly recommend the Burson Conductor 3X Performance. This thing is incredible, amazing, well built, beautifully sounding, and as sexy as it looks, it's as sexy as it sounds. It's been Dave with DBS Tech Talk. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video. Speaking of next videos, somewhere on the screen is a notification bell and a subscription link. If you haven't already, check those off. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and check out the links down below for playlists, for the written review, and for where you can purchase this and all kinds of other good stuff. Thanks, and have yourself a great day.